Hello, friends. Let's talk. Let's talk. I am in the middle of a quarter life crisis. And you may be saying, Elise, you're only 22. How could that be a quarter life crisis? You got 3 more years to go. But my running theory is that graduate school at any age just induces complete and total inner panic. So, let's talk. Many of you know that before I left, I was toying with the idea of, hey, maybe I'll stay in the UK and try and get a work visa and hang out for a few years until I build a career or whatever. So, having been here for it's October, so almost the end of October, so about 2 months, I have enjoyed living in Glasgow more than I have ever enjoyed any place I've ever been to in the States. It is phenomenal. It feels like where I'm supposed to be. Now, you're saying that's great. If you want to live in the UK, you should feel really comfortable there. Yes, I get that. I do. I feel that. That's why I want to stay here. But, even though it's easier for me as someone who's getting their degree here to apply to switch my tier 4 to a tier 2, it's still pretty freaking hard to get a tier 2 visa, which is a general work visa, to stay in the UK. So there's that. Now there's also my family, because I miss you guys. I miss you. I have friends here and it's great, and it's not like I'm so homesick that I need to come home. But I miss just being able to call you on the phone or just have a casual conversation. I have to plan every conversation with the 5-hour time gap. Because it's 9 o'clock at night here for me, so it's 4 o'clock there for you guys. That makes phone calls really hard because when I'm out and about doing my day, you guys are just waking up. And then, I miss my pets. I miss my family. It's not like I can just go home and visit during breaks. But then if I go home, I'm stuck living in a country I don't really want to be living in. I just don't. The overall lifestyle here just fits me so much better. So it's the struggle of, do I try to fight and work through this almost impossible system to stay here and really enjoy my life, but also miss you guys? Or do I just find a job at home and come back home knowing that while I may be close to family and friends, and of course I can adapt to wherever I am, but knowing that I had such a great experience here and I could have taken it further. And we're coming to the point, you may be saying, you got time, you still have months left in your degree, but the truth is I don't have time. I have to start thinking about this now, because come next semester, if I want to stay here, I'll have to start looking for jobs. And realistically, I need to start looking for jobs next semester, even if I wanted to go home. So I have to think about this now, and that's a lot of pressure to decide. Because if I got a visa, that's 5 years. So I have to decide the next 5 years of my life in the next couple months. And that is a lot of pressure at 22 years old. On top of this, we were sitting in my Process of Artifact Studies class today. And we were having a great session with our professor about the role of the finds officer in an archaeological dig and being a specialist. And you may be saying, Elise, in archaeology class, your museum studies. Yes. The tract that I'm in also focuses on archaeology so that you know how to deal with artifacts as they're coming into the museum as an archaeologist would, which is great. It's one of the things I love about this program. But we're sitting in class, and Dr. Harris is talking about different finds officers. And now, I don't have to yet, but I've already been starting to toy with ideas about a dissertation. And you guys know that I really enjoy things about ethics, and I really enjoy things about ethics regarding people and how you should treat people, alive or deceased. So I've been thinking about a dissertation on human remains in museums and the ethical ways of collecting, carrying, and displaying human remains, because, like it or not, there's a crap ton of human remains in museums. It's just the way it is. So I was thinking about that today as Dr. Harris is talking about specialization in a field, and I was like, oh, like, cool. So, like, if I write this dissertation, that could put me on the path to being a specialist on human remains in museums, or like just human remains for museums. And the light bulb went off in my head that, oh, there are people who are specialists in human remains. They're forensic anthropologists. Now, what some of you might not know, unless you've known me since high school, is that when I originally went into undergrad at Chapel Hill, I listed myself as a history and anthropology major, because history has always been like a passion for me, like a little nerdy academic passion. But I really thought when I went to undergrad that I was going to be a forensic anthropologist, like Bones, okay? Like think the TV show Bones. And I knew I wanted to do something with museums, and I knew I had this passion for, I don't want to say human remains because that sounds creepy, but basically human remains. And I was like, oh yes, forensic anthropology, perfect. And while I was at Carolina, like history took over, and the anthropology classes that I started out with freshman year I really didn't like. And I had all these different interests in like philosophy and art history and women's studies, and I was like, forget it, I'm going to switch and not do my anthropology major. So now we've come here, 4 years later, and I realize that what I actually needed to do this field that I've now realized that I really want to be in is an anthropology major. So I feel like I've wasted 4 years of my life. Who decided to let an 18-year-old decide what to do with the rest of their life? Oh. So, at this moment, I'm just having internal panic about, dear God, what am I going to do? Where am I going to try and find a job? What job am I going to try and find? Should I go back for my PhD? Oh Lord. And if I do go back for my PhD, what should I go back for? Should I try and go back for anthropology so that I can do this field that I'm now realizing that I've been interested in forever, but I never really quite made all the dots? Or do I go back for medieval history because I'm really passionate about that? Do I go back for medieval art history because I'm really passionate about that? Like, do I try to enter academia and say forget museums? Do I try and merge academia and museums and be a museum educator? Do I continue the path I'm on and work in collections because I'm really passionate about artifacts? But then that brings me back to human remains because I'm really passionate about human remains as artifacts because I think it's a very interesting debate about ethical concerns with collecting. So I don't know. I do know that I'm now very jaded by this system that demands that you know what you're doing at 18 when you enter college, because everybody says, oh, you can change your major, which I did a lot. I changed my major quite a few times, and my minor. But at a certain point, you have to stop changing because you have to finish in 4 years. And then you get to master's, and you're like sitting in class one day, and you just have this major realization that, dear God, what am I doing with my life? It's like a full-on existential crisis just sitting in the middle of class. So I'm here to say, I'm Elise, I'm 22, I am in full panic because I'm expected by the end of this year, basically, maybe the beginning, spring of next year, for being generous, to know what I'm doing with life. And I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot at 22 because I haven't even lived a quarter of my life. We're 3 years short. So, yeah, I love you guys. I really wish that I could just like pick up the phone and call somebody instead of like awkwardly waiting on Skype at what is 9 o'clock at night for me, hoping somebody maybe shows up. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go now, and I'm gonna try and figure out my life. Alright, love you guys. Bye.